Before we get into today's video, I just want to remind everybody that I do not have a degree in law enforcement. I am not a lawyer, a police officer, nothing like that. These are just my opinions that I'm sharing with you. So please do not take my opinions as facts. Thank you. Alright, what's up guys? Let me make sure my mic is on. It is. I have recorded so many videos and my mic has not been on. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the Summer Wells case, okay? Because I feel like this little girl never had a chance. And it's really heartbreaking. One, have you guys seen where she had to sleep? Like what was considered her bedroom? It looks more like a dungeon. Like the thoughts that go through my head whenever I see where she was kept at. And it's underneath this like cupboard or covered, whatever you want to call it. And you go down in it, and they had the windows sealed off, they said, and then they had her bed, and it was so weird. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's so weird. I'll show it to you guys.
Through exactly what you saw inside this home.
So this is Candace showing me essentially where the boys were sitting. They were sitting right there at that table, looking at that TV, playing video games. Summer went down into the basement. She's pointing to this, table here that has basically a crawl space into it. And down into that crawl space goes down into the parents' and Summer's room. So I asked her if she would take me down there. She did. And so we crawl through there.
So now, can I stop you real quick, Chris? So this is the only way to get to Summers and the parents' room is through this crawl space.
Right. This is the way she said Summer went into that basement.
Why do they have it set up like that?
That is a great question. I don't have that answer.
Okay. Continue.
So we get down there, and of course, this is Summer's room here that you're seeing. All of the items in the back corner belong to Summer. There's a mattress on the floor, the 2 bunk beds. The windows are secured with reflective type of materials. And so you can tell this is, it's pretty striking pretty quickly for a 5-year-old to be in this environment.
But not only that, Dawn's brother-in-law, his sister's husband, he is a registered offender. Okay, he lives in Utah. And then you got Hawkins County Sheriff, his son, who was also just convicted of child charges. So now he's a registered offender. And it's kind of like that baby didn't have a chance. Like she was surrounded by negativity. And it is so heartbreaking, you guys. Like and I've said this from the beginning, like I guarantee you that little girl went more than what we know about. She went through more than what we know about. And it's just sad. And then not only that, but then Candace, her sister, she's been missing since 2009. Like, do you see what I'm saying? This little girl's life was surrounded with horrible, horrible things. That poor baby. And then her neighbor, and just don't mind me if I sound weird because I'm just now getting over sick and I'm still a little congested. But one of her neighbors made a video. He's on the Weekly Podcast. He has a little YouTube channel about it. And he got on there and said that whenever this happened, that him and his wife had texted Candace and asked Candace if she needed anything. You know what she said? A 6-pack of Mountain Dew. Like, maybe that's nothing. But to me, that's like, are you serious? And then they said that Dawn had went down there to their house and talked to them for like an hour, and everything that they said, or everything that he said, he was talking about Summer in past tense, like she was already gone. I don't get it.
Let me tell you a strange story that no one knows. The day that Summer Wells went missing, my wife messaged Candace Wells on Facebook asking her if there's anything that they needed. Pretty common question. I'm not sure in that situation if there'd be such a thing as a common answer. But the response was a 6-pack of Mountain Dew. I found that odd. Second strange encounter that we had when Summer went missing. Dawn Wells had came down to my home. I wasn't there yet, but a few of the guys that I work with and my wife were there, and he spoke with them the very next day. And they tell me that his whole conversation was around her being in a better place, her being in a better place, her being in a better place. And they found that odd. Now, once again, we don't know how we'd act in a situation. I'm just giving you some points, giving you some information that I have that no one else has. You can take that for what it's worth, make your own opinions, read into it, don't read into it, whatever. But these are things that we know because of being near the area and from local law enforcement, things like that. Number 3 is 2 or 3 nights later on a rainy night. There's some country roads back through that way, and you can there's a back road that you take that comes out there in Kingsport, and it's a traveled road, but it's not traveled a great deal. And the Dawn and Candace were seen about a mile and a half from their house, pulled over on the side of the road, very, very, very country road. Dawn was behind the wheel. Candace was out, and she was coming out of the wooded area. Now, she had to use the bathroom. I think she probably could have waited to get home. Maybe not. But that was strange, that they were off in a secluded area, at dark, while it's raining, and Candace Wells was seen coming out of the woods about a mile and a half away from their home. Also, another strange thing was, you've seen pictures of how high, the mountain, the hill going up to their house or whatever. Now, at the bottom of the hill, there's like a field. Now, that field's always grown up. But about a week or less before Summer Wells went missing, Dawn Wells mowed that down. I mean, I say mowed, hacked it down, because it's about chest high with a mower. That's the first and only time that field has ever been mowed. That field sits at the base of that very hill that he come out and said that he feels like someone took her down that hill, and then they'd had to went through that field and off to wherever. Also, the Ranger, black, older model Ford Ranger that was seen in the area, we were told by law enforcement, we turned in that clue. We were told by law enforcement that was that truck was there. It was at the end of Ben Hill Road picking up an automotive part. Also, I was told by law enforcement that whether the scent, I've seen several places that say a dog picked up the scent and it ended. I have been told by a fairly credible source that was not the case. Also, when the FBI came and talked with people in the area, the 2 questions they wanted to know were, have you seen anything abnormal? Did you see anything abnormal that day or out of the ordinary? And number 2 was, what type of people were Candace and Dawn Wells? These are some strange things that we know from being close to the area where Summer Wells went missing. What do you think about these?
And okay, so another thing. When Candace gave her interview or her police statement, she added such small details. Okay, so she was saying that they were out there planting plants or planting cactuses or whatever she said. Then she said that Summer wanted a piece of candy. And then that she watched Summer walk to the house and she was only gone for 2 minutes. Like, she's adding such little details, like trying to give it credibility, that it kind of makes you wonder, like, where's Summer and what happened? And then there's a story that came out. Now, mind you, this is all alleged and I'm expressing my opinions about it, okay? But the boy Hunter, he came out and said that he knew what happened to Summer and that him and Candace were having sex in a bush, and Summer came and she found them and seen it, and Candace was scared she was going to tell Dawn, so when she hit her too hard, and that's what happened. Now, like I said, this is not a proven fact. This is just what somebody claims that Hunter came out and said. Okay, it's not facts. There's no proof of this. Hell, I don't think there's proof of anything right now. But I just find it so odd, and I can picture that. I can see that. Like I can just look at that and see that, and I don't know, man. This case is just such a heartbreaking case, and I don't. And then, okay, they're getting upset over YouTubers and people on social media, and there's a Tennessee representative named Diana Harshbarger, and I have it written down. So let me see. Tennessee legislator trying to make posting private phone calls on social media illegal without all parties consenting. So it's kind of like, why does that matter? Did they already slip up and say something and they're trying to cover it up because they don't want anybody to post the phone calls because nobody's caught it yet, but they know that they slipped up? Or, like, what's the reasoning for this? And there is a Tennessee, like I said, her name is Diana Harshbarger. And she is pushing for this. She's trying to make this a bill. So we'll see on that end. And where they had Summer sleeping, where her playroom is and where she was sleeping at, it's just so weird to me. Why would they have her down there? I don't get it. And why it's such an awkward place. Stuff doesn't add up. And there's people on here, oh, you guys are jumping to conclusions. If you think this stuff adds up, and if you think that all those pictures they've posted looks like Summer, you're crazy. I think there's something bigger going on than anyone expects. I'm telling you. But I've got more videos to do on other subjects, so I'm going to get at y'all on the next one.